guys, how's it going? So today I'm working on the kitchen window box and the little table right next to it. I've got some tired spring plants going on and I'm ready to switch things over. In fact, I brought up a cartload already and it has been a weird day weather-wise. It's been really windy, which that's not super weird at this point. Kind of is windy all the time, but it's been really chilly and spitting rain on and off, which is kind of atypical for us. So I thought this would be a perfect project underneath a canopy. So this window box needs some attention. There was some bright yellow ranunculus in there and oh, it was a beautiful display for quite a long time, but we've had to deadhead those. They're still in there. They're just like, you can't see them anymore. The ornamental crane kale that I started from seed. So it naturally grows with a longer stem like this because they typically, if they're given enough light, they'll color up and form little rosettes at the top that you can use in cut arrangements. That's why they have the long stem. But you couple that growth habit with the lack of light and you kind of get this more pale. It's still pretty. It was a pretty texture for a really long time, but you get kind of a leggier, less colorful version of it, I guess you could say. We've got some violas in here that I just want to get out before the heat comes. And then we've got some perennial ferns that I may or may not keep in here. We'll just have to see. Then on this table here, we've got the lemon cypress topiaries from the front sun porch and some very tired spring containers. They need to be moved, cleaned out and redone. So we've got an anemone right there that looks pretty bad. Primrose, that was a pale yellow primrose, so was that. And right in here. I've got some gorgeous stuff right here, at least for the window box. So Pegasus begonia, hippo pink, polka dot plant, and then double up pink begonias. I think that'll be such a beautiful, stunning display, and they all can do shade. And then I've got some wire vine there just to provide a little bit of fluff around the edges. And I keep talking about how we were going to get the house painted this spring and we had planned on it, but things just, I don't know, our schedules never jived. And that's why I moved the lemon cypress out of the front sun porch because that was going to be painted as well. I think we're going to wait till fall or possibly early next spring to do that because it's so darn windy at this point. I'm afraid that the house will be painted and then we'll get a stiff breeze and it'll blow a bunch of dirt right onto the wet paint. I've really enjoyed having them on this cart, so I think I'm just going to leave them there for the time being. They seem to be happy here so far. I mean, I anticipate needing to move them into more light at some point, but I think I'll pot up some containers and put them on this cart, just some fresh ones. And I might end up planting these window boxes. We were going to remove the rest of the window boxes on this side of the house and on the opposite side of the house, just so we had it kind of cleaned up. But they're there, they're empty, they're calling for something, some kind of plant. I'll probably go really simple though. All right, so I just got to get this window box cleaned out. I'm going to clean out the containers here. I might do some, now that I've got more containers available, all the bulbs are out of them at this point, I might reconfigure how this thing looks. Whoop, right there. So I'm just going to work on it and then I'll give you a tour in the end of how it looks. All right, the window box is done. I really like it from this angle. I don't know why. I can just see all of that pink and it's so fresh and pretty. I want to run through all the plants here because it does appear that the Pegasus begonia is kind of the centerpiece plant, but it's really not. The hippo pink will actually become the centerpiece plant because it gets the biggest out of all of these. And right now it just looks tucked in, but it won't for very long. So here's what I've got. You can see that the hippo rose gets 16 to 22 inches tall and 10-inch spacing, so it's quite perfect. They won't take up a huge amount of space widthwise, but they'll grow nice and tall. And I think that they'll grow tall and then they'll kind of, you can see my sweet potatoes through the kitchen window right there. They're not looking hot. I need to get them out in the garden. Anyway, it'll kind of come through and fill up above the fern here. The Pegasus begonia grows 12 to 18 inches tall, spacing 18 inches. So that one will become more of a bulk widthwise, which I have these inside actually. I've had the same Pegasus begonias as a houseplant for like 3 years and they do get quite large. Not enormously tall, but very wide. And then we've got the double up pink begonias. You can see that they can take sun to shade. That's like all of these. Full shade is hippo rose, part shade to shade Pegasus, and sun to shade double up pink. So all of these plants, because this is on the north side of the house and underneath an overhang, gets hardly any light, if at all. They should all thrive and do well in here. But anyway, the Double Up Pink grow 8 to 18 inches tall, and I've tucked them all the way around the edge for our color. I left the ferns. I felt like that was a really pretty texture in here, and then popped some wire vine in all along the edges. And I'm thankful because the wire vine root ball wasn't super rooted, so I was able to knock a lot of the soil off. They were really easy to tuck in, and those will just be a very dainty, graceful spiller. They won't get enormously thick or look like they're wanting to take over at all. While I was at it, you can see Benjamin's lawn tractor is charging right now. I'll probably remove it for the end shot, give you an idea of what it looks like. I did fill this up with soil because I might go ahead and plant it. I've got some of the same plants left over, and I kind of want there to be some cohesion, even if they are a little bit different. I've always felt like these two could be planted up separately from like this one. They're separate rooms of the house and they're different sizes. And then when I stand all the way back here, you can see that the kitchen one is higher than the rest. So I typically plant that one different than all of them. But I usually like to have some kind of the same color theme going on. So what I need to do now is run to the greenhouse and just select some plants for shade. I'm thinking maybe I've got some beautiful heucheras or some hostas in there. I've got more of the Double Up Pink begonias. What else do I have? I don't know that I have an enormous amount in terms of color, but I've got a lot of beautiful foliage to work with. So I'm going to pick some stuff out, take a look at the pots I've got for this right there, and then we'll see what we can come up with. I wasn't anticipating planting any of the window boxes except for this one, so it's going to be kind of a cobbled together job this year. Check out this mix right here. Isn't that beautiful for a shady spot? So I'm not sure I'm going to use all of these, of course. I think I'm going to take all of them up there though, just to see what I think. So there's a Woo La La hosta right here, gorgeous foliage, gorgeous. There's an Autumn Frost right there. This is a Wild Rose heuchera. This is an Abbey Road Masterwort, or Astrantia is the botanical name, I believe. Wonderful cut flower. Then we've got the lungwort there, spot on. There's a crested surf fern right there, and a pretty pistachio heuchera. And then I can't remember the name of this one. This is an I Spy heucherella. They're all very beautiful. That's a glorious load of plants right there, isn't it? Oh my word. I grabbed some Wicked Witch Coleus, some more Hippo Pink, and some Double Up Pink begonias, a few more. Aaron actually picked up an extra flat earlier on, I think in one of our videos, and I'm glad he did because it's going to come in so handy. All right, so I'm just going to keep on working here. So I got into the project and got a little carried away and ended up potting all of the window boxes on this side of the house. Let me show you. So this is the angle that we see it most often from. Well, let me back up just a little bit so you can see maybe a little bit from a distance. See some of the flower beds there. Isn't that a pretty side of the house? I really like it, and it's always a lot cooler over here. So this is the door we enter the kitchen from all the time. So to see that color is really nice. Now we do have plans to build on a wraparound porch, which will come out. So it'll go over the top of this concrete. You won't see all that stain, and I'll show you the tags here in just a second. But so we're hoping to do that, and we'll have the wood. It'll be a gray wood. I think it'll be really pretty. So we already went over that first window box, and then this is what I ended up putting on the table. I've got my lemon cypress still, of course. I took the one lollipop lemon cypress. I'm going to put that in the greenhouse. I think it'll like it better. But on the top here, I have a Primo Wild Rose heuchera, pretty much at its full size height-wise. And then it should spread out to 30 inches in the landscape, but it looks really beautiful, especially, look at that pot. It's one of the bow pots from Unique Stone. And then I popped one of the pink begonias in here because I wanted to draw some of the color. I use the pink begonias in every single window box, so I thought that might be nice. And then down below here, we have got a beautiful mix of texture, really. I mean, there's a crested surf fern right there, which I don't have the tag. but we have done a video about this plant before. Look at the color. So pretty. And then we've got a spot on lungwort right here. We've done a video about this too, 14 to 16 inches tall. It's already done blooming for this spring, but I kind of like how it masks the little vent right there. Another pink begonia, and then an autumn frost hosta, which I actually didn't pot in that pot. I just slid it right down in there. See? Couldn't do that with these two. The pots were a little bit too small, so those are actually potted. This might be my favorite window box of all. I only use 2 different kinds of plants in here, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So first off, we've got 5 I Spy heucherellas. They are a type, some heucherellas can take a little bit more sun. This one likes shade to park shade, so it should do really well here, but aren't the leaves just gorgeous? Oh, I just think they're so pretty. And you can see what color the blooms are. They match these double up pink begonias beautifully. Look at that. So beautiful. Here's the tag right here, 8 to 10 inches tall. I can't remember the zone, maybe a 4. Yep, 4 through 9. And space out 20 inches. So even after this one is done blooming, it's gonna be gorgeous just to look at those beautiful leaves. And I popped one of the begonias in between each one. So there's 4 begonias and 5 heucherellas. So 9 plants to fill up this enormous 6-foot window box. That's pretty good. And we'll be able to use those heucherellas out in the landscape when we're done. In these shorter window boxes, they are 3-footers. I used 2 lime thyme coleus, and then I've got 3 of the hippo pink, which, as you know, will grow quite large. And it will be more of the centerpiece plant. I really wish they were bigger to start off with so you could have a better idea, but you guys know how it goes. And then more of the double up pink begonias around the exterior and wire vines. So a little bit of a different variation on each grouping here of window boxes, utilizing though a lot of the same colors, the pink and the chartreuse green. And the best part about the containers on this side of the house is because it's north side and all shady, typically we don't have to water them that much. We do have a drip system running to them, but I think we're going to be taking that down. It never really reached, this is the last one on the run and it wraps all the way around the house. It didn't reach this one very well, so I think we're just going to hand water these, but it should be something even when it's really hot, maybe every other day, maybe. So these should all be pretty low maintenance. I'll be checking on these on the trolley or the little cart here more often than the window boxes actually. And then in terms of what can stay, like all of these things are going to do well all the way through fall. And because they're protected, the coleus usually even lasts a little bit longer than the coleus that's more exposed when we start getting freezing temperatures. But I could pot that coleus and bring it inside as well as the Pegasus begonias, the wire vine. Heucherellas will go out in the landscape. So there's really very few plants that I won't be able to repurpose from these arrangements. So anyway, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this little colorful transformation to this north side of our house. It makes me very happy to see it not looking so barren and stark. So we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.